Hi there, you're right. My name's Tommy Allen, and today I want to show you what it just might sound like inside a great big, massive, and I mean humongous, dumbbell. So if you want to hear what this sounds like at the end, just skip to the end of the video. That's where the audio demonstration is. But if you want to see the improvements to the model and the kind of physics I'm using, stick with me, and I'm going to try my best to explain my thought process and what I'm doing. So first of all, I got this beautiful piece of bodybuilding equipment off GrabCAD, put it into SolidWorks, made a shell which made the geometry input really easy into COMSOL. I then pulled up COMSOL, the kind of physics software, and I have placed a receiver and a source. So that's always in the same location. So that acts as the same as we are speaking and then we are listening all at the same place. Okay, so it's like we're clapping our hands or shouting as we go down the dumbbell, and we can listen to the impulse responses. In my last model, where I did the kind of what it sounds like in a giant concrete strawberry, it was very static. We only had one impulse response. Okay, so the improvements to this time and how I implement it in the gaming engine, I am going to move this across the dumbbell, like so. And so the source receiver, we're going to move down the dumbbell. So we'll get different sounds as we move across the tube, come out of the tube into the next end of the dumbbell. To kind of really exaggerate this effect as we're walking through to these different types of rooms, I made this side out of curtain, the tube's made out of solid wood, and then this is made out of wood as well. So in this side, it'll be really dead sounding. But we'll also get the reflections of what's going on inside the tube. As we go along the tube, we should kind of get more reverberation. As we get to the center, even more. And then we're going to enter the massive solid wooden room. And it's huge. Look at it. It's 100 meters across. It's about 30, 40 meters high. And it's going to be like, and it's going to sound really awesome whilst also getting the tubular reflections. So I'm just going to show you a quick little graph. What we're doing for this is just ray tracing, which is we have a kind of mini blast of sound, and it's going to reflect off all the sides. It's going to travel down the tube. We've kind of got a little microphone to pick it all up, and then some of these kind of lines, these ray tracings, is going to fly back down the tube, and we're going to get these kind of awesome echoes and reflections, and it sounds amazing. So around this, there was obviously a lot more rays, and what the results I got was now into MATLAB. So this is what it graphically looks like. Here is inside the room full of curtains. As we move across into the tube, we start getting even more reflections, which is as expected as it's made out of wood. This side's made out of curtain, then this goes inside the wooden tube. As we get into the middle, even more reflections. A lot more concentrated because we're literally in the middle of the tube. It's a smaller space. Then we start to come out of the tube, and then we go into the big wooden room. And as you can see, the reflections are a little bit more sparse because it's a larger volume. So that's basically it. Let's have a look at the FFT of these and see the frequency responses inside the curtain. We've got a lot more damping. There's actually, if you carefully look at the axes, there's obviously a lot more damping in the frequency, but we also have this nice, beautiful, low frequency peak, and we can really hear that when we put it in the engine. As we move across into the wooden rooms, we kind of get these kind of much greater high-end reflections, because I think wood is quite absorbent in the low end, as you can see here. Just to mention, in the last model I used an FEM model as well, but for this one I just used ray tracing because the volume's just massive, and we don't like doing the low end. It was just too computer intensive, and the differences wouldn't be that great because of the really long wavelengths. So let's pull up the gaming engine and see what these actually sound like, and it sounds well good. So let's get the gaming engine up right now. Actually, just before I pull up the gaming engine, I just want to mention that inside the model, I actually used a massive source and receiver. This is because there's like this beautiful equation. I'll actually link it below. I can actually show you here, but it calculates the number of rays to the amount of volume. So if I actually used a real sized human head, which is tiny compared to this, football pitch sized dumbbell, the calculations or the number of rays was in the tens of millions. So it was absolutely massive. So by making the head super big, there needs to be less computer time to run the solution. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention that. I actually want to do a follow-up video of changing the source or changing the receiver size and seeing how it actually affects the oralization and the effect of what we actually get. So I just thought I'd mention that. So it's we've actually got a massive head, but it actually shouldn't change how it should oralize. But that's going to be a video for another time. So let's pull up the gaming engine. I just thought I should mention that. So here we go. Let's pull up that beautiful gaming engine. Right, so let me just put on my earphones. Okay, right. Whew, now we're ready. Let me just show you the actual level because it looks so cool. So I made it out of wood here. So this is the fat part of the dumbbell. We're actually starting in the reverberant room for our character. There's the beginning of the dumbbell tube. As we zoom out, as we can see, it's absolutely ginormous. So we should get some really cool sound effects. It's made out of solid wood. And then as we enter this last room, we then come through the tube and we have, it's all made out of curtains. I tried to simulate the curtains. I couldn't find anything on Meta. I don't know what it's called. I couldn't find anything to download curtains to put in the virtual reality, but I used this kind of weird alien red surface to demonstrate red curtains. So we're going to run down here, we're going to say some weird words, and we're going to do an audio demonstration, okay? So let's see what that sounds like. Let's do a little run. And we're going to keep going. And now we're hitting the curtain room. Hello. Okay. So that's kind of what it gives us. So we've got this. We've got this curtain room, and as we enter the tube, yeah, buddy, and it gets more reverberant, and then we're going to come out the tube. And this side, so this side sounds quite realistic. When we enter the curtain room, it's a bit electronic. I think that's because I actually put the reflection coefficient quite high because I really wanted to exaggerate those tubular reflections. But in here, it sounds amazing, I think. So yeah, so that's the demonstration of what it might sound like in a great big wooden dumbbell. Yeah, let's run through it again because it sounds sick. I actually think it quite sounds like Dune. Some of the effects in that. So it just sounds awesome. Hello. I'm in a dumbbell. I'm stuck in a tube. Stuck in a tube. And now we're coming to the big empty space. So now we've got this just kind of dead big space. Sounds a bit like a school hall. So we can hear the echoes. They do sound a bit electronic. So maybe more raised, maybe a smaller head. We get something more realistic. But it sounds pretty good. Yeah, so that's it. I might plug in my guitar and give a little guitar playing. So let me just do a small little guitar demonstration, because I love playing guitar in reverberant spaces, and you never get to do this in real life, so that's why I absolutely love doing this. So that sounds really cool. It's running in here. It actually sounds a bit different. It does, you can actually hear that frequency change as we enter the tube, which I think's pretty cool. Oh, we started off in the same place. Let me run back down. And now let's go to the curtain. Okay. Now we're in. Oh, you can really hear that difference. It sounds quite realistic. I'm quite happy with the result of this. So this is what it sounds like in the curtain. So you can actually hear that big frequency. It sounds much deeper and lower now in here. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. I'm actually going to try and get, might try and get some Ronnie Coleman in here. Ain't nothing but a peanut. Famous bodybuilder, if you don't know who that is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed thoroughly making this one. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The next thing I'm going to do is actually do a reel. An actual real model for once, something more practical. And this is going to be a kind of schoolroom. So what I've actually designed for my next video, just loading up, I had to make this geometry, raise geometry, move myself to the side. So actually what I want to try and do is actually create something realistic, and we're going to have a toilet, and then we're going to have like a trumpet room, and we're going to walk down this thin corridor. So this will be a lot quicker to calculate. This is much smaller volume, and yeah, this should be a more realistic setting for a kind of virtual reality. So that's going to be my next video. It's going to be the same type of maths. I'm going to combine it with the FEM though, because it's a much smaller volume. And yeah, so that's going to come out soon. Look out for that. And I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did making it. Thanks for sticking along. If you watched, comment below if you want me to make something like what it sounds like in a chili pepper, and I'll see what I can do. So thanks, that's Tommy Allen out, and I will see you in the next weird acoustics video that I make. So cheers to that, and see you later.